If you would have told me I'd be waking up at 5 a.m. to go to work, I'd be laughing in your face. But something changed. Not overnight, not from motivation, but from something else. Something most people never figure out. And to be quite frank, it rewired my brain to crave hard work. Let me show you how I did it. But first I'll start off with saying I used to hate working hard, like physically allergic to effort. I was not one of those entrepreneurs you hear about that was selling sweets at school at the age of 9, or starting my software business from my bedroom at 11 with my PhD that I got early because of my technical prowess. No, I'd scroll on Insta, watch some nonsense about how capitalism was evil, and go back to binge watching shows I didn't even enjoy. If work was hard, I ran. If I was tired, I stopped. Does that sound familiar? Yeah? And here's the smack in the face. I wasn't lazy. I was disconnected. I didn't hate hard work. I hated the type of work. I hated working for people who didn't inspire me. I hated jobs that felt like they were draining my soul just to line someone else's pockets. And if you agree with that, you'd rather be filling your own pocket than filling someone else's who doesn't give a fuck about you, then hit that subscribe button. But now back to the story, because this is when everything changed. It was the moment I had a boss who lit me up. I worked at a restaurant, nothing glamorous, just smelling like grease and regret at the end of every shift. But this person, they made me feel like I mattered in this, little work family. And suddenly, work wasn't a punishment, it was purpose. That is when I learned something game-changing. Environment is everything. You don't need motivation, you need better reinforcement. Praise, progress, and purpose. That's what flips the switch. And then came sales. At first I was terrified and, to make it worse, I was shit at it, but I pushed through the shit and guess what? I got good, then I got great, then I became the person that can talk down a fire. And that positive reinforcement loop, it turned pressure into performance. Let me make one thing clear though. Work ethic is not fixed, it's a muscle. You train it, you tear it, you grow it. Here's what no one shares. Hard work isn't a grind, it's a game of reinforcement. You do hard things, you survive, you get praised, you rewire, and you repeat. Eventually, your brain learns pain does not equal bad. Pain equals progress. Because I've spoken with people that say, but Tyler, I can't work more than 5 hours in a day. You know what my first thought is? Yes, you can. You haven't conditioned yourself yet. The first time you run a 5K, it's shit, it sucks, you hate it. But the 10th time, it ain't nothing but a peanut. Same thing goes for hours. Stress and pressure. It's all adaptive. So start small, wake up earlier, take meetings, build habits, track the wins, not the tasks. I started associating work with reward, and you can do it too. And this brings us to today. When I don't dread work, I crave it. The harder and more difficult, the better. Because I rewired my brain for what work is meant to be. And this led me to, people even asking now, do you even rest? And yes, obviously I get rest, I get my beauty sleep in, but when I rest strategically. Not as an escape, but as a fuel. Walks with my partner, dinners out, seeing family. Even if I'm watching YouTube, it's not just to veg out, it's to study storytelling. Everything I do builds me or heals me. No wasted motion. Here's the truth that no one else will tell you, but I love you enough to tell you because I'm not going to gatekeep. I want you to be your best self. If you hate hard work, it's not because you're lazy. It's because you've never won through it. You've never had hard work reward you, like it's supposed to. But once it does, you'll fall in love with the grind. You'll fall in love with the pressure, the growth, and you will never want easy again. And remember this before you go and subscribe. You don't need motivation. You need momentum. Start where it's uncomfortable. Stay long enough to suck, then suck less, then be great, and then you crave it. Because that is how I tricked my brain into loving hard work. And if I can do it, you can do it too. And to those select few who march on with the path of mastery, I applaud you because you'll become unstoppable and I will see you on the other side.